Hello, my name is Tom Hayes. I'm Director of Customer and Community Relations for New Jersey Natural Gas and your host for Community Connections, this wonderful program here at SCAN. And today we're very fortunate to have Dr. Jessica Israel, the Regional Director of Geriatrics for Barnabas Health, who will be talking about many topics related to what Monmouth Medical is involved with. So welcome. I appreciate your being here today.
Thank you.
So tell me, I know you have a couple of locations that you're in charge of, being that you're regional director. Mm-hmm. One is the Monmouth Medical Center right here in the Long Branch area. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So can you maybe tell us a little bit about what's going on there at this point?
Sure. I'm really excited to be here because there are a lot of amazing and innovative things happening both at Monmouth Medical Center North and then our southern campus, which used to be Kimball Medical Center and is now Monmouth Medical Center Southern Campus.
Right.
So north here, we have a very well-developed and long-standing geriatric outpatient program, which has 3 board-certified geriatricians, a full-time social work staff, amazing nursing staff, and we do outpatient medicine there, and
Wonderful.
We link that with what happens inside the hospital. So we have a state-of-the-art geriatrics emergency room program geared specifically towards the emergency care of older adults. That's been at Monmouth, I'm going to say, almost 2 years now, and then we are opening in 6 months an ACE unit, which is an acute care for the elderly. And that specifically, elderly is not the best word to use there, but that's the national acronym.
Right,
but,
sure.
That program will specifically deal with the hospitalization of older adults.
Wow.
And then one other thing that ties it together is that we are certified as a niche hospital. So that's nurses improving care for hospitalized elders. And that program has identified geriatric resource nurse leaders who are working with us on our units and also in the other units that we're not directly on to extend specialized care for older adults in other places where they may come into contact with the hospital.
Gotcha. So if they came into the emergency room and were in one other area of the hospital, you would be able to outreach to them.
Absolutely.
To find out if they need special assistance or other services and that sort of thing. That's wonderful.
Absolutely.
That's a great service. I don't think most people really realize that you're doing those great things and thinking about it in that depth so that you can make sure you're giving folks the proper services, whether they're in that particular department somewhere else at the moment, or if they need you further on down the road or whatever it might be.
Right.
That's excellent. And so that's the Monmouth Medical Center in Long Branch runs that way, and it's also the same way down at Monmouth Medical Center Southern Campus.
Right.
Okay.
It's a mouthful, I know. So we are looking to be able to take some of the best things that we have at the northern campus, bring them to the southern campus, and then actually extend that a little bit. So
Great.
Last September, our southern campus also became niche certified. So we are training geriatric resource nurses across that hospital. We have been learning about how things are different in Ocean County because it's a different place and a different culture.
Right.
So I've been spending time there since around this time last year, learning the hospital, learning about who works there, learning about the patient population to grow this program. So now at the southern campus, we have a geriatric emergency management program as well, so the same ER setting. We are developing and growing our geriatrics outpatient practice to be similar to the outpatient practice that we have here, and the key is really multi-interdisciplinary care. So it's not just doctors leading the pack. There are nurses and social workers and nutritionists and pharmacists and physical therapists, and everyone is working together to take care of those patients. And then probably the most exciting thing that we're doing at the southern campus that will tie it all together is we really just got approval 2 days ago to begin work on what we're calling the Geriatrics Institute. And that is going to be an entire floor of the hospital dedicated to geriatrics only. But the reason that it's different than geriatrics really any place else, not just in New Jersey, but anywhere else, is that it will house our inpatient unit on the same floor as our outpatient practice. And in between those 2 areas, we're going to have a shared educational space and a shared physical therapy space. And that means that someone who's in the hospital can transition with education and physical therapy to an outpatient environment. And then if someone needs hospitalized care, we can take those same steps. And it will be the same group of professionals taking care of patients across the different settings.
That's incredible.
That is really our newest plan, and something that we are really excited about.
That is great. And certainly we all know that Ocean County has a large population of older, mature adults. So that's a great market to grow in, and it's, I think, very compassionate that you're looking to do that in that particular area as well, because the need is great. So that's wonderful. Wow, that's excellent. And you know, I know your organization's been wonderful. It's a great, you know, it's certainly a leader in the community and on many levels. And Dr. Frank Vozos, who I know heads up your operations in this area, does a great job. He's been there quite a while, right? I
Definitely longer than I have, and I've been at Monmouth for going on 12 years now.
Wow. And you started there when you were 13, I believe.
No, but thank you.
But that's great. So, how many staff do you have involved with this, roughly, or like how large a effort is this?
In terms of geriatrics, it's a pretty large effort, and the reason is because it's multidisciplinary and interdisciplinary. So within every care division at Monmouth, we are training people specifically to take care of older adults. We have the dietary staff at Monmouth, the people who work in the kitchen, are certified in geriatric nutrition. Our pharmacist is certified in geriatric pharmacology. We have the geriatric resource nurses. We have physical therapists who are specifically certified in the care of older adults. So even though our division may have 10 or 12 people in it, we sort of have far-reaching tentacles in the different areas of the hospital. The truth is, you really need a team sometimes, actually I think all of the time, to take really, really good care of patients.
Right. Does that fall under kind of, I hear the term palliative care? Is that sort of a similar thing?
So palliative care is different. It is a team-oriented approach to medical care, but it's much more focused on advanced severe illness and quality of life initiatives as you're taking care of someone who ultimately has a disease that you can't reverse.
Okay, gotcha. But similar in theory in that you get the right people around to really make sure you take care of the patient and get them well and back on their feet and back home and all that sort of thing, right, to get them in the best shape.
Yes. For me personally, I practice geriatrics and palliative care, and the interesting thing is that my geriatrics patients, my older adults, I follow them for years. They're the ones that stay with me for long periods of time.
Right.
Palliative care is a little bit different because I'm dealing with people at a different stage in their illness.
Gotcha. Okay, that's amazing. And I know, you know, just from being involved in the community that Monmouth Medical is always out there in the community doing great things. How about in terms of resources, educating the community about what you're doing and all that? And what kind of efforts do you have in that arena? So
we have just started two great things in Ocean County. One is a senior newsletter that's going out. I think it went out to 20,000 seniors recently. And that is something that we're putting in educational articles, notes about what our programming is, and then we began a Better Health program. And this is really just rolling out. And that is a program that ties in the social aspect of someone's life with some of their medical concerns. Whether or not it's a medical concern for that particular patient, we're focusing a lot on caregivers. There are a lot of nice little perks to be members of the program. There's free parking, and while you're waiting for your x-ray, someone brings you a coffee and a Danish, little things like that. But I think more than anything else, it brings in camaraderie, and it helps people focus on what will keep them healthy as they get older. Right. All I heard was Danish. No, right. Right. Well, that's the draw. Yeah. Now, what age group do you have to, like, what's the age defining time? So people ask that all the time. Okay. We have a lot of patients calling our office to get in, and we have to say to them, you are too young. You have to come back later. But really, geriatrics is over the age of 65. Okay. But there's really like kind of two humps. In our practice, our average age is actually 82, right? And the population over the age of 80 is very, very fast growing in both Monmouth and Ocean County and nationally, right? So we see healthy seniors starting at 65, and then our range is really until our oldest, right? We kind of have two humps around 65 and then again around in the 80s. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. I was at an event not too long ago, and they were talking about it's a caregiver organization. They were talking about several of their clients. I think there were like 7 of them that were over age 100. So I think that's pretty impressive, and it's sort of an indication of where we're going. People are living longer and living healthier lives, and thanks to folks like you,
they're having much better care.
I'll tell you, one of the people I work with, the amazing Joan Wills, who's our regional vice president
yes, I
of
know
geriatrics.
Joan. She's great.
She uses the statistic 10,000 in almost every talk she gives. And 10,000, today, 10,000 people are turning 65. And every day from now on, right?
Wow.
And that's pretty amazing when you think about how many people eventually will need more specialized services for themselves and for the people that they love that are turning 65 alongside of them.
Right, that's amazing. And speaking of Joan, she's on our board here at SCAN, and she does a great job. And your organization has been extremely supportive, helped really create SCAN over 25 years ago, which is a wonderful organization. And I would imagine as you develop things, hopefully there'll be opportunities where SCAN can work with you to do some of those programs or help out or be another alternate for our seniors and folks that need additional services or educational programs and things like that. So it's really been a wonderful partnership. There's no doubt about it.
I agree.
I don't think any of us that are involved with SCAN could thank you guys enough for all that you've done over the years to really help the organization just exist and grow. So that's really wonderful. Are there any other issues or topics or items you wanted to discuss while we're here today?
I think that, that's really the gist of it. I think we have made a commitment to better serving the older adults in our population. We are working with people who have a true passion for this kind of work. It means something to them. It means something to me. And we're really looking forward to the changes that are going to happen in the next year or so. Our ACE unit at Monmouth will open in 6 months. Our Geriatrics Institute sometime in 2016. Our Geriatrics ACE unit at our southern campus is opening in August. So a lot of new events and things to look forward to.
Right, that's really amazing. It's interesting to see how everything's developed over the years, and again with the population aging, and as you mentioned, 10,000 a day turning 65. There's obviously more and more need out there, and it's great that you're really recognizing that and really trying to work to compensate for that and make sure that folks are going to be able to get the service that they need. Do you do anything, or do you anticipate doing anything that you would actually go out in the community or go to homes or anything like that? Or
So we do a lot of community outreach in terms of education. All over the place, in senior centers, in nursing home settings. We've come to SCAN. We do a lot of education.
Yes,
That's
you do.
what we do for the most part within the community. We right now don't have a home visit program, but we link with physicians that do that kind of work.
Oh, that's great. That's important, because I find that to be a growing need at times too, right?
Absolutely.
And I find also, having older parents myself, that they want to stay in their own homes and all that, right? So the fact that you can have them come in and get the health care that they need,
Right.
and hopefully return them to their homes, I think again is very admirable.
It brings up an important point, and that is our focus on transitions. So a lot of things fall through the cracks when you leave one place and you go to another. And that's not even specific to older adults. It happens to younger patients too, because there's so much information to take in. So we have a specific transition team, and we focus on what are those pieces of information that need to get translated in order for someone to be successful when they get home, so that they don't end up coming back.
Right, that's true. Well, I want to tell you, this has really been wonderful. I appreciate your information. Is there any website or information that you want to give or anything at this point? Or folks can pretty much Google probably and find you, right?
We're building our websites at this point, so it's.
So we'll get back to you on that, right?
Yes.
All right. Well, again, I want to thank you, Dr. Jessica Israel, for really being here with us, and thank you very much. And we'll see you in the near future.
Thanks so much for having me.
All right. Thank you. Stay tuned for our next part of the program.
Now's a great time to make your home more energy efficient, and the New Jersey Natural Gas Save Green project is here to help. Take advantage of rebates and incentives up to $15,000, designed to make your whole house more comfortable, improve performance, and save you money. Upgrade your older, inefficient heating equipment, central air conditioning system, and water heater with money-saving, high-efficiency equipment. But don't stop there. Your new equipment will have to work harder, wasting energy dollars if your home is not properly weatherized, by reducing air and duct leaks and installing proper insulation. Call the Save Green Project at 877-455-NJNG or visit SaveGreenProject.com, and we'll help you get on the road to maximum energy efficiency and savings, and explain how you may qualify for up to $15,000 in rebates and incentives. Call Save Green at 877 455-NJNG.
Welcome back. Again, I'm Tom Hayes, Director of Customer and Community Relations for New Jersey Natural Gas, and your host for Community Connections here at SCAN. For the second part of our program, I'm pleased to introduce Fred Carl. Fred is the CEO and founder of the InfoAge Science History Center in Wall, New Jersey. Welcome, Fred.
Tom, it's a pleasure to be here.
Yes, it's a pleasure sitting across from you. And I know for years, working with you on different projects, all the wonderful stuff you do. So it is indeed an honor to have you here with us today to talk about all the wonderful things that go on at the InfoAge Science History Center. So tell our audience a little bit about what's going on there.
Well, it's an amazing site that we can't shake being a secret. It was part of Fort Monmouth, and for years it did secret research that a lot of it didn't come out until Desert Storm. And it's credited for winning World War II, and we're trying to get the word out to the public that this wonderful site can be used to inspire kids to learn science and inspire them to study things that'll make their life better at a place where people actually help save democracy.
Right, well, that's amazing. And you know, having been at that facility, it's remarkable, not only the history and the interest in the buildings and what's gone on there, but the location is second to none. You're right at the foot of the Shark River there, and you know, basically the mouth of the Jersey Shore right opens up there, right there. So it's really a spectacular location, isn't it?
It is perfect. When in 1912, when Marconi, the father of radio and wireless, came out, he sent his engineers. This was the best place on the Jersey Shore that they could pick after Twin Lights, which was already taken by a lighthouse. Mm-hmm. So it's surprisingly 80 feet in elevation. So when they put up their 400-foot tall wireless masts, they had an 80-foot head start.
That's great. That's pretty amazing. How many buildings are on that property?
Well, we've saved 16 of them on 37 acres of the original 50 buildings on 200 acres. It took a lot of people to win World War II of amazing different expertises, and incredibly unique for the times, they hired women, hundreds of women, like Rosie the Riveter out in California. We have Rosie the Riveter in Monmouth County. And these ladies were statisticians, radar technicians, mathematicians, and they did amazing work. And what is really nice to look back on is they hired patriotic Americans regardless of their color. Your national origin, if you were German or Japanese at the time, was a little tough, but it is a wonderful thing, and it's an example for kids today to look back on and say, these people got together in spite of social differences and saved democracy.
It's pretty impressive. And as you said, it's a very well-kept secret. I mean, it's a phenomenal location. It's got pretty much everything of anybody would want to go see. And parents with kids, like you said, to get them interested in science and really appreciate it, it's remarkable. And I know, as you are the founder, and I worked with you in many projects there, that you are like a crazy person when it comes to InfoAge. Really, you do remarkable work, and your whole team, your board, Mike Ruane, the whole group over there. Claire French is a phenomenal person, obviously, and all that too. And so, I mean, it's really a great team you've got over there, and that you've really worked hard to build up that facility. I know the kind of pain and suffering you went through to get that to be what it is today. So really kudos to you for really making that happen.
Thanks. So it's teamwork.
I know.
Hundreds of people have given loads of time.
Absolutely.
Some fanatically, and others little parts that build the bricks of the wall. And now we have this site that was going to be demolished. It's now a National Historic Landmark. There are only 55 of them in New Jersey, in its 350 years history, only 55. And this one can be credited for helping win World War II.
That's amazing.
Like the BBC, British Broadcasting Corporation, when they were filming a video called Radar, the Invention That Saved Democracy, they sent a film crew to Monmouth County, Camp Evans, to film some of that film. That's how important this site is, and all of Monmouth County, to World War II. There were laboratories in Long Branch, in Asbury Park, in Eatontown, Tinton Falls, Avon, and many I'm forgetting. besides main post Fort Monmouth and Eatontown. And the things that were done there truly made a difference in the war.
Yeah, it's really, really great. Now, you have a couple different facilities there in terms of different types of museums, let's say,
Yep.
right? So can you explain a little bit about those?
Well, of course, we have the Marconi Building, a 2-story, 45-room dormitory that's just lovely, even though it's 100 years old now, right? And behind that, we have a series of buildings built during World War II, which are now 70 years old, for radar development. And in those buildings, we have 10 different museums. So there's something for everybody. There's shipwreck museums run by Dan Lieb and his Historic Divers Association. We have a radio technology museum run by the New Jersey Antique Radio Club, which has all kinds of, like the television didn't burst out of nowhere. It took a lot of development, and this shows you the fun things, and it shows how tough we had it when we were kids and there was just black and white and 13 channels, right? We show kids about candlestick telephones, and there's lots of fun things to do. We have a lot of ties with computer history, which you would think, computer history in Monmouth County? They made the first portable computer at Camp Evans.
Wow.
It's a silly story, but it comes with the reality of life and budgets. The organization couldn't get money for a computer, but they could get money for mobile Army field equipment, so they bought a giant computer, bought a tractor trailer, put it in the tractor trailer. And the rest is history. The first mobile computer,
Okay.
Not your laptop. But putting that aside, right, our goal is to inspire kids to learn science and show them how people solve the problems of their day, because there's lots of things that need inventing. Okay? Previously, we had a geriatric physician on the program. We haven't solved arthritis. Maybe we can inspire some young person to invent a diagnostic tool that'll improve that situation, okay? Or some medication that'll eliminate that situation. And it's up to the kids today, because they are just as bright as anybody who helped win World War II. And it's our chance to inspire them to make their life better.
Right, that's great, and science is so important, as we know. So that really is, it's a good challenge, and it's a important, really important goal to really help our young people embrace science and appreciate it for the extreme value that it has.
And there's also family fun there. Each Halloween, which New Jersey Natural Gas has taken a wonderful role in with the dancing zombies, and we have our Base of Terror Haunted Hotel, and it's family entertainment, it's family fun. And our museums are meant to entertain and educate. You bring your carloads of kids, and when they come out, they've had fun, but they've learned things painlessly. And when they go back into the classroom, their eyes are a little more open to science and to history, because they've seen some of it. Our site, we call it the World War II Living Memorial, because people get to see where World War II science and history were actually made. It's not a cold granite chunk with letters carved into it. It's the rooms and places where real war-winning decisions were made.
Right, which is pretty amazing. Now, I know, again, being with the gas company, we've been involved with you guys on a lot of different things, but one of the more recent projects that I'm proud that we're involved with is with the long-term recovery group. And, it just so happened, because I was involved with the long-term recovery group and had been involved with you folks at Camp Evans, that when it came to looking to put together a volunteer village, I thought, wow, this could be an opportunity. So of course I went to my friend Fred and said, Fred, what do you think? And of course you said, embraced it with open arms and said, well, we can somehow figure out how to make this happen. But can you explain to our folks what the volunteer village is all about?
Well, you were truly the connection maker. And that's what makes progress, is people who see two different situations and connect the need. And we had space that was completely empty, and you heard the need of a place for volunteers to come from out of state, have facilities where they could sleep, wash, eat, and then go out to help the hundreds, if now thousands of people who are still out of their homes. Unbelievably, after 2 years, there's still people who are living in hotel rooms. And it's a shame because there's the know-how, there's the money in Monmouth County to take care of our own as well as Ocean County. And this is a place to help. And we thank you for that. And also the gas company, I know you drove a lot of this to fruition. And when the need is completed, we will have wonderful extension facilities to our museum so we can offer night at the museum. And it's sort of appropriate because this was Hurricane Sandy who did this, right? This site, Camp Evans, is where they discovered you could track a hurricane with a satellite out in outer space. And the 60-foot dish that captured the data from that first satellite is now working again, and scientists from Princeton University just the other day got data from a pulsar thousands of light years out into the Milky Way. A place that used to do wonderful research and moved mankind's knowledge forward is now doing that again, albeit in a small way. There's not thousands of engineers and scientists, but it's a good thing for the future.
Yeah, that's great. It really is remarkable. It's such a blessing to have it in our community. And again, I thank you for really being the main crusader over the years to really get it to this point. And I know it's a team, and I appreciate that there are a lot of wonderful people I've met there as well that do great things.
A fun day when hundreds of New Jersey natural gas people, led by your president, Larry Downs, ran all over the site, fixing, painting, nailing. It was wild. More stuff got done in 8 hours and was done in months.
It's so funny because we still always talk about the story of the guy, one of our workers that was painting the silver fence and ended up looking like the Tin Man when he was done, right? It was pretty funny. It was great. It was a great effort, and we loved being out there, so that's always great. Now, if somebody wanted to get in contact with you and find out about what goes on at InfoAge, what's the best way that they would get in contact with you guys?
Well, we have a great website. It's www.infoage.org, and there's 1,500 pages linked to that site because there's so much history. Wow. Our physical site is 2201 Marconi Road, and our phone number is 732-280-3000.
Great. And you're right in Wall, New Jersey. So that's
on Marconi Road.
On Marconi Road, right, which is great. Now, we have about a minute left. What are some of the upcoming events that are going to be happening there, or might have recently happened or will be happening?
Well, in August, the 70th anniversary of what they call VJ Day, Victory Over Japan, we are going to celebrate that with a symposium. Okay?
Great.
And one of the things we have on our wall is a copy of the Daily News article on August 15th, 1945, a full page, and the title is Radar, Major Reason for Victory. And there's a photograph of radar equipment from Camp Evans, New Jersey, and a photograph below it of the fathers of naval radar. That team, the Navy team, formed at this same site during World War I.
Wow.
And what they couldn't write, because it was the future, is they brought the German radar scientists over to be part of the Cold War.
That's pretty amazing. Well, we're about out of time, and I know you also mentioned you have the Halloween event, and so look for the Halloween stuff as that comes up in October. But I want to thank you, Fred, for your time and appreciate all you do, and wish you the best of luck in the future.
Thank you, Tom. Pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you, folks.